Hey, listen, what if I told you there's people online right now finding coins and selling them for tons and tons of money? And there's also people out there that are spending coins that are worth a lot of money, and they shouldn't be doing it because you know what? They're missing out on a lot of money, and if they only knew how much money they're wasting, they'd really be kicking themselves. That's why knowledge is pivotal in this community. Do not spend the 1970 coins you see in this video because they're selling for tons and tons of money. Without any further ado, guys, let's hop into it. Here we have a 1970s 1 cent coin. Now this coin is beautiful. It's also a proof coin. Proof coins are much different than normally issued coins. However, these coins can be found in collections. They're not that rare a lot of the time, but proof coins are pretty much made in a different fashion. They're done one by one by mint employees instead of the mass productions they do by machines. If you have a really nice coin like this, it might be worth $516, just like this person sold their coin for. Now this coin doesn't look as nice, right? However, it sold for $870. This one is not a proof coin, so it's a normally issued coin. It also graded at a 58, which means almost uncirculated. So this coin actually went out into circulation before someone caught it and put it in their collection and sold it online for $870. But why? Why did it sell for so much money? Well, it's quite simple actually. First of all, I want to show you the difference between a large date and a small date coin. This can mean a lot of money for your coin depending on which date you have, either a large date or a small date. The biggest thing on this coin is going to be the fact that it's a doubled die obverse. So to keep it very brief, a working hub strikes a working die. The die that struck this coin was accidentally doubled. So this is called a doubled die obverse. You can see it very clearly in the words "In God We Trust" at the top. Something like this can make your coin worth a lot of money. So pay close attention to "In God We Trust" or any sort of doubling happening on your coin because someone turned a penny into $870. Just imagine having a whole roll of those. By the way, leave a comment down below. Let me know what type of coin that you have down below. While we go into this coin right here, which is a 1970 1 cent coin that sold for $1,080, we won't spend too much time on it, but essentially it's a fold over strike error graded by NGC at a mint state 64. So it's just a mint mistake. This is something that you cannot reproduce in your home. That's just simply not the case. This needs to happen at a factory. That's why it's called a factory error. It's a fold over strike. That's why it sold for $1,080. $1,260 for this 1970 10 cent coin. Now these type of coins are all over the place. I get questions all the time. Old money prices. What's going on? I saw your coin. I think I have that coin. It's really rare. Well, this is what you need to pay attention to. So listen closely because a lot of people mess this up and you don't want to be that person. So 1970 10 cent Roosevelt dimes. They're not really rare unless you have a proof coin that's also missing an S mint mark. So it must be a proof coin. Here's the thing. This coin should have had an S mint mark right around the date there, but it doesn't. So to tell if you have a proof coin, you're going to want to compare a normal coin to a proof coin. Now a proof coin has pretty much like a mirror backdrop or field of the coin. It needs to be a proof coin and it needs to be missing the S mint mark in order for it to be really rare and valuable. That in combination with a high grade of a proof 69 allowed this coin to sell for $1,260. Here's a coin that sold for $1,440. It's a 1970 S 5 cent Jefferson nickel graded by PCGS at a mint state 66 with the full steps on the back. So you'll see the S mint mark below the date there on the bottom right hand side of the coin. You're going to want to look at the back of the coin. You know, this house back there is Thomas Jefferson's home, and that home was called Monticello. And above the word Monticello, you're going to see some full steps. Now those full steps are really critical because they are the highest point on the coin. They get worn down the quickest and they're the hardest to strike during the minting process. What does that mean? That means that most of the time your coin will not have full steps. Here's another key factor. Full steps only matter if the coin is mint state. If the coin is a bad condition coin, it's below the mint state grade, then a company like PCGS and NGC are not going to designate the full steps. It might seem silly, but those full steps will increase the value of your coin. All these things combined with the mint state 66 grade allowed this coin to sell for $1,440. Phew, look at this coin. It's a 1970 S 1 cent large date over small date double die obverse coin. It's a proof coin and it sold for $1,680. So you have a double die obverse. This should have never happened. It's a mistake. Even though it's a proof coin, sometimes proof coins do have issues on them, which allowed them to sell for a lot of money. You know, there's a clear issue with this coin. You want to have some sort of magnification to kind of look closer at some of the areas to see if you have a large over small date like this example. It sold for $1,680. Here's a 1970s, 5-cent Jefferson nickel. You got those full steps on the back once again. This one got graded by PCGS at a mint state 66, and it sold for $3,120. Here's a cool one that sold for $4,080. It's a 1970s, 1-cent large date with a double die obverse on it, graded by PCGS at a mint state 65. Once again, looking at that double die obverse, you want to see the doubling happening. I mainly see it here up in the words "In God We Trust." Look very closely there, especially if you have a large date double die obverse from 1970 and it's a San Francisco issued coin. You could be sitting on a little bit of a gold mine, because this one sold for $4,080. Wow, look at this coin. So cool. It's a 1970D Washington quarter, graded by PCGS at a mint state 68. I mean, just look at the coloration and the clean look on this coin. You got this gold coloration going on with the outside of the coin. This one sold for $9,600. What would you do with an extra $9,600? I mean, I would be so ecstatic to have that money right now. This one got the PCGS mint state 68 plus grade. Very high grade, very beautiful coin. If you have it, keep it safe. Don't bring it to a pawn shop because they're going to rip you off. We recommend finding at least 3 different coin shops, getting their opinion, seeing how much your coin is worth before ever thinking about selling it. $10,350 for this 1970s 1-cent double die obverse coin, graded by PCGS at a mint state 64. Once again, you got some pretty apparent doubling happening in the word Liberty and "In God We Trust" at top. Keep an eye out for a really rare coin like the ones you're seeing in this video, because they're selling for lots and lots of money. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you have not done so already, pick up our completely free coin and currency ebook down below. It's going to help you out. It's going to enable you to learn the values of your coins. Make sure to pick that up, and we will see you in the next one.